Thanks for coming and hanging out with me today. I am glad to come in and hanging out with me today. I am glad to come in and hanging out. Echoes. Sorry about that. Always something, I'm telling you. There's always something every day. Every day when I do this, there's something that's just weird and not right. But we should be good now, so... Hey everybody! Welcome! Thank you for coming. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Today we are going to be playing, Dagon, I think is how you say this name. I don't know. Dagon, I think is how you say it. I'm doing my best, guys. You know, words are hard. And it is a visual novel, so we're going to be doing basically storytelling. And I'm really excited about it because it is a Cthulhu or Lovecraft lore story. So it's going to be amazing. You know it's going to be amazing. All right, let's go over so you can like see that screen in theory. There we go. Fabulous. And let's get into it and let's see what kind of craziness there is to happen. So it is a faithful interactive adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's work focused on story and atmosphere. You will not find difficult choices, action sequences, or inventory management here, and movement is limited to progressing through locations along with the plot.
I am writing this under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more.
During the game, you will encounter interactive elements. Some of them will allow you to continue your journey. Others reveal interesting facts about the original short story, its historical background, and the author. Some of the trivia is hidden. In order to find these secrets, focus your eyes and look for the Elder Sign. Okay. And hello there, Bohemian! The name of the game is Dagon. I believe is how you pronounce it. D-A-G-O-N. And it's based off of Lovecraft lore. I'm super excited. And hey, Ads, how you doing? You are the first to offer a zebra cake to Zed and Otis. They appreciate your offerings. And they will eat it with relish. Alistair, how you doing? Welcome back. All right, let's see.
Penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below.
Oh.
Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate. When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death.
Oh. You're a bit tired, but you're okay. I'm doing pretty good today. I'm really excited about this game. I really love Lovecraft lore. I enjoyed this particular short story, so I'm excited to see it in visual presentation. And yay, Alistair, we're glad you're back. Welcome, welcome. Morphine entered into use in the 19th century and was routinely administered to treat severe pain during the American Civil War, 1861 to 1865, and World War I, 1914 to 1918. It was also sold without restrictions until 1914. Morphine became more popular after the invention of the hypodermic syringe around 1854. Friedrich Turner, who first isolated the substance, originally named it morphirium after Morpheus, the Greek god associated with dreams. At the time when Dagon was published, morphine abuse, known as soldier's disease, already posed a big problem in the United States. Yeah, definitely not a new problem, morphine and narcotics. You can read the discovered trivia immediately or go back to them later in the main menu. Turn off displaying trivia if you find that the feature distracts you from the story. This can be changed anytime in the options. Okay. Let's keep trivia for right now. If it gets bothersome, we'll adjust it.
It was in one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider. The Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation.
Oh dear.
So that our vessel was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
Hello, Sky the Fox. How you doing? You've just been needing to focus on school and stuff, so I didn't have time to watch stream anymore. That is totally fair. Real life should always come before streams. So I'm glad to have you back, but I am glad that you are putting school first. That is good. Oh, where am I supposed to be? Oh, there we go.
So liberal, indeed, was the discipline of our captors, that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time.
Glad to hear that you're doing well. I am also doing pretty good. I'm doing good guys. It's been a kind of sketchy day, but you know, overall, I am doing well. I'm glad to be out of work and chilling.
When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings. Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator.
Honestly, I feel that, right? You know, some days, man, about halfway through my day, I was just like, I'm so ready to be home. I'm so done with this day. But, you know, I just had to wade through. Whew. Oh, this game looks so good.
Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight. The weather kept fair, and for uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land. But neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue.
That would definitely be seriously monotonous.
The change happened whilst I slept.
I'm not sure if you remember, but last time I was here, I was preparing for a video contest, and we won! And we got to go to nationals! Oh, that's so exciting! I do remember that you were talking about a video. I'm glad that it really went well. Yay! Congratulations!
Its details I shall never know, for my slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous. When at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see, and in which my boat lay grounded some distance away. Though one might well imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished.
I think horrified is a very valid response to waking up to that kind of change. Like, whoa. You spent a whole week in Atlanta? That sounds like it was really fun. Yay!
For there was in the air and in the rotting soil a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core. The region was putrid with the carcasses of decaying fish and of other less describable things which I saw protruding from the nasty mud of the unending plain. Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity. There was nothing within hearing and nothing in sight save a vast reach of black slime. Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear. The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet.
I would definitely not want to find myself in this location. Oh, that noise.
As I crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one theory could explain my position. Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths.
That's a thought, I guess.
So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might.
Hello, bounty hunter! Welcome! We love new people! Oh, you have misplaced your pantaloons! Oh goodness, you come in here in your knickers! How scandalous!
Nor were there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things. For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens.
Squid everywhere. Yeah, I think that about describes it. There's like squid, octopi, just like tentacly things everywhere. You have your second pair on. Okay, you're wearing your backup pantaloons. Okay, fantastic.
As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time. That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue. On the third morning, I found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease. The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal.
Oh man, after a few days of all of that rot, I bet that would be vile.
All day I forged steadily westward, guided by a faraway hummock which rose higher than any other elevation on the rolling desert.
I like how it's narrated. It sounds like a book I was reading. Yeah, and he has a really nice like tone of voice in the way that he's reading it. It really fits the feel of the imagery. Oh, that looks like maybe a giant crab and a whale.
That night, I encamped, and on the following day still travelled toward the hummock, though that object seemed scarcely nearer than when I had first espied it.
Is this one of those Japanese tentacle stories? This is a visual novel of one of H.P. Lovecraft's short stories called Dagon.
By the fourth evening, I attained the base of the mound, which turned out to be much higher than it had appeared from a distance.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
An intervening valley setting it out in sharper relief from the general surface. Too weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill. I know not why my dreams were so wild that night, but ere the waning and fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain, I was awake in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more.
Oh yes, a classic. Yes, definitely. We embrace the classics here.
Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again.
How could you not have nightmares after, crossing this hellscape?
And in the glow of the moon, I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day. Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy. Indeed, I now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset. Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the eminence. I have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me. But I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon, whose black recesses the moon had not yet soared high enough to illumine.
Just thinking about all that rot is sickening. Yeah, I agree. It would be vile.
I felt myself on the edge of the world, peering over the rim into a fathomless chaos of eternal night. Through my terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost, and of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness. As the moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined. Ledges and outcroppings of rock afforded fairly easy footholds for a descent.
Yeah, but do you want to? I mean, Hey there, Axel Boy! The voice is making you sleepy. It is a really calming voice. I have to say that he's very, pleasant to listen to.
Whilst after a drop of only a few hundred feet, the declivity became very gradual. Urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze, I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath, gazing into the Stygian deeps, where no light had yet penetrated. All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of me. An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon.
Nothing untoward. This is totally fine. Nothing strange here.
That it was merely a gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured myself.
Yes, just stone. Nothing weird about that at all. It reminds me of Breaking Bad's reading of Ozymandias. Oh, I didn't see that, so I don't know.
but I was conscious of a distinct impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature. A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express. For despite its enormous magnitude and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young, I perceived beyond a doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith.
A monolith.
Whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures. Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely.
I think it's interesting that he immediately went to the idea of it having once been worshipped.
The moon, now near the zenith, shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chasm, and revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope. Across the chasm, the wavelets washed the base of the Cyclopean monolith.
Osmodeus is a classic poem. I actually performed it at my school's last year's talent show. It is not a poem that I personally am familiar with.
On whose surface I could now trace both inscriptions and crude sculptures. The writing was in a system of hieroglyphics unknown to me and unlike anything I'd ever seen in books, consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and the like. Several characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world, but whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain. It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound.
Dagon contains many themes and storytelling methods that Lovecraft developed in his later works, such as telling the story through carvings at the Mountains of Madness, the Nameless City, journals and characters' notes, the Shadow Out of Time, the Haunter of the Dark, islands emerging from the ocean, the Call of Cthulhu, or fictional beings and deities based on real events and mythologies, Migo in The Whisper in Darkness. It's also considered the origin of the popular Cthulhu mythos. Some of Lovecraft's other stories also conclude in a manner similar to Dagon, but let's skip the details in order to not spoil the ending. Osmodeus by Percy Shelley. I will have to look it up. I'm not familiar with that one. Is one that you enjoy, though? Nice.
Plainly visible across the intervening water on account of their enormous size were an array of bas-reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a doré. I think that these things were supposed to depict men, at least a certain sort of men.
Yeah, H.P. Lovecraft.
Though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto, or paying homage at some monolithic shrine which appeared to be under the waves as well. Of their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail, for the mere remembrance makes me grow faint. Grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer. They were damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips.
Yes, the Lovecraft!
Glassy, bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant to recall. Curiously enough, they seem to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background. For one of the creatures was shown in the act of killing a whale, represented as but little larger than himself. I remarked, As I say, their grotesqueness and strange size, but in a moment decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe. Some tribe whose last descendant had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born.
The Dark Gods!
Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist, I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me. Then, suddenly, I saw it. With only a slight churning to mark its rise to the surface, the thing slid into view above the dark waters. Polyphemus-like and loathsome, it darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the monolith.
Okay.
About which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds. I think I went mad then.
Right? I think that going mad then is pretty valid, dude. Like, how do you see that kind of stuff and not go mad?
Of my frantic ascent of the slope and cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little. I believe I sang a great deal and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing.
Just a little delirious.
I have indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat. At any rate, I know that I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods. When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital.
Yeah, I would definitely be delirious too. Like, there's some things that just can't be unseen and were never meant to be seen.
Brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean. In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention. Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing. Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe. Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist and amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god.
Dagon was the main deity of the Philistines, worshipped throughout the Middle East as the ancient god of fertility and crops. In Hebrew, the word Dagon was a common noun for grain. The rulers of Akkad, or Mesopotamia, chose him as the patron saint of their war conquests. He also appeared as the judge of the dead in an Assyrian poem and an underworld prison warden in one of the Babylonian texts. He is often mistakenly taken for a fish god due to the wrong interpretation of his name, as in Hebrew the word dag means fish. In H.P. Lovecraft's works, Dagon is an underwater deity ruling over the deep ones, a humanoid race with fish traits that resides in the oceans. He is worshipped by a secret cult called the Esoteric Order of Dagon.
But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries.
dragons? I mean, maybe like a Leviathan sea dragon thing. Oh my goodness, a fish god. This is epic, right? It definitely makes me think like Leviathan stuff. And hey there, Eljandra, how you doing? August Delarith and the Cthulhu Mythos. August Delarith was an American writer and an anthologist, anthologist. Guys, I can talk. I swear I know words. He also befriended Lovecraft and published many of his words through his company, Arkham House. Although he greatly contributed to the popularization of one of the author's work after his death, he is surrounded by numerous controversies. One of his most questionable decisions involved introducing good versus evil doctrine. Derleth was a devout Catholic to the Cthulhu mythos, which contrasted with Lovecraft's view of the world and his approach to cosmic horror. As a result, the author's works are often misunderstood and misrepresented in today's culture. It is also worth noting that Lovecraft was never really interested in creating a mythology, and the term Cthulhu mythos was coined by Derleth after the author left the mortal plane. Yeah, Dagon is a deity. The real fish god is Poseidon, right? English and words are hard. I definitely struggle with them on the constants. All the time. Every day. Here though, or lore or anything. I feel like I'm missing something though. No, I really don't see anything. Okay. We're looking at the clock, and I guess that's that. We got a clock. Sea dragon! Right?
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing. I tried morphine, but the drug has given only transient surcease, and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave. So now, I am to end it all, having written a full account for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men.
Lovecraft on tobacco and alcohol. Lovecraft hated tobacco, even though he used to smoke when he was 12. In order to look and feel like an adult, in his correspondence with friend Reinhard Kleiner, he claims that he quit as soon as he started wearing long pants. He also had a very strong opinion about alcohol, as evidenced by his letter to Zelia Brown, dated 13th February 1928. As for the matter of drinking, I have never tasted intoxicating liquor and never intend to. Having a strong aesthetic disgust at anything which blunts or coarsens the delicate natural equipoise of the evolved human intellect and imagination. Drinking excited my personal repugnance, hence I do not drink. Let the herd do what they will. I am rather in favor of prohibition. The prohibition of any one antisocial force as well as any other. Source: The Spirit of Revision. Lovecraft's letters to Zelia Brown Reed Bishop. H.P. Lovecraft, Sean Brainey, and Andrew Lehman, S.T. Joshe. I wonder what Dagon sushi would taste like. I don't know, but it would be a really big slab, right? I mean, we're talking like giant fish, so you would have like a big hunk of sushi. Yeah, like just all person sized. Like, that would be like for days. Yes.
Often, I ask myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm. A mere freak of fever as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat after my escape from the German man-of-war. This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply.
It would be really awful to have that doubt of what's real. That is a really terrible and scary place to be at. Might become a problem though. Where would you store it? I mean, you're not wrong. You would have to have like a sushi party just to be able to eat it quickly enough so that it wouldn't go bad, because yeah, storage would be a problem. I mean, it wouldn't be sushi for eternity because it would rot, and then we would be in this like nasty hellscape with rotting fish on our hands. You'd have like fish rot bed. I mean, you definitely have to make it a sushi party and invite all your friends, right? Aw, thank you, Angel. I really appreciate the support. I appreciate it so much. And 9 months! That's amazing. You've been free forever! Thank you, thank you.
I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed, worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite. I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind. Of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium. The end is near.
I would hate being in this dude's place right now. Same. I would also not want to be in this dude's place. Ooh, chaos, my favorite.
I hear a noise at the door, as of some immense slippery body lumbering against it.
It's fine. Everything's fine. We don't have to check it, right? We can just trust that there's things that don't need to be seen, right?
It shall not find me.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
God, that hand! The window! The window!
Hey there, Revenge Lord! How you doing? Always playing something spooky. Well, yeah! Gotta love the spooky games. Slurps of the chaos. Funny story about work today. I've never been trained to shoot screws, aka put a half dozen screws into the thing I'm assembling, so they tried to make me, and I was sent home because zero training means I can't do that job, which isn't my job to begin with. Love that stuff. Alright, the window! Out there! Out there! Oh, like shadow stuff going on there. Oh, that's weird. Isn't the number of the screws, it's the 30-second it requires to do it within? Yeah, that sounds sketchy. Oh! food. We just like eat it out. Just whoop. We hope you enjoyed immersing yourself in our little pool of cosmic horror. We'd appreciate it if you took a moment to rate Dagon and check out our other games and DLCs. Okay, I think that was really cool. Have I played Dredge? I have not. I have watched a couple people play it, and it looks like it could be a lot of fun. It looks like we seriously missed all the lore, guys. What? Like, how did I miss all this stuff? Guys, we missed all the lore. We're gonna have to, like... There's, like, 20 lore, it looks like, and we got, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Or the trivia. I guess it's called trivia. I think I failed hardcore in this. Do we want to go back through and try to get the trivia? Oof, yeah, we missed a lot. We missed a whole bunch. All right, let's see if we can get all the trivia. Like that's gotta be there, right?
I am writing this under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more.
Yeah, that's like a lot of stuff missed. I had no idea. Alright, so during the game, you'll encounter interactive elements. Some of them will allow you to continue your journey. Others will reveal interesting facts about the original short story, its historical background, and the author. Some of the trivia is hidden. In order to find these secrets, focus your eyes and look for the Elder sign. So, focus our eyes with the left click. Oh, maybe that's what I wasn't doing. I wasn't doing that, so maybe that's why I missed stuff. Oh, you can, like, look closer at stuff. Oh, man, guys. Oh, yep, there's one. Lovecraft's letters. As to letters, my case is peculiar. I write such things exactly as easily and as rapidly as I would utter the same topics in conversation. Indeed, as epistolary expression is with me largely replacing conversation as my condition of nervous prostration becomes more and more acute. I cannot bear to talk much now, and am becoming as silent as the spectre himself. My loquacity extends itself on paper. H.P. Lovecraft to Reinhard Kleiner, December 23rd, 1917. Throughout his life, Lovecraft penned around 100,000 letters to his friends and fans, out of which about 10% survive to this day. But his tendency to endless correspondence was a relatively late growth. In youth, I scarcely did any letter writing. Thanking anybody for a present was so much of an ordeal that I would rather have written a 250-line pastoral or a 20-page treatise on the rings of Saturn. Selected letters 1929 to 1931, H.P. Lovecraft. Lovecraft would often skip meals to afford postage. Collections of his correspondence have been published in various books, and selected letters can be found online. Some readers consider them his most important legacy. Oh, that's really cool. Hello there, Call of Loco. Just starting. I want to play Dagon 2. It's a really cool game. And posture check. Thank you. Appreciate it, Axel, because yes, I was definitely being slouchy again. I swear, the minute I stop thinking about it, I become the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Alright, it looks like that's the only one to find. At least on there. Alright, and then I can't turn and look at the table yet, so... Alright.
Penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below. Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate. When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death.
I think we read this one. Yeah, morphine entered into use in the 19th century and was routinely administered to treat severe pain during the American Civil War, 1861 to 1865, and World War I, 1914 to 1918. It was also sold without restrictions until 1914, which is super wild to think about. Like, morphine just being freely sold, like, you could just buy it at the supermarket, is really wild to me to think about. Like, that's craziness. Morphine became more popular after the invention of the hypodermic syringe around 1854, and Frederick Sturden-Turner, who first isolated the substance, originally named it Morphorium after Morpheus, the Greek god associated with dreams. At the time when Dagon was published, morphine abuse, known as soldier's disease, already posed a big problem in the United States. And it's really crazy to think about how long-standing the narcotic abuse problem has been prevalent in the United States. I mean, we kind of think of it as a modern world problem, but it's been something that's been over 100 years in the making. Water in the face hole! Thank you, Alistair. Appreciate it. I mean, and the fact that it's been 100 years in the making should tell us that we're not going to find any simple, quick solutions to solving the narcotic problem. All right.
It was in one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider.
Lovecraft and the Great War. Dagon was written around a month after the United States entered World War I. Lovecraft was actively interested in its course. He composed many poems in which he gave encouragement to soldiers and commented on the events unfolding in Europe. He tried to enlist in the army, which he mentions in one of the letters to Reinhard Kleiner. Some time ago, impressed by my entire uselessness in the world, I resolved to attempt enlistment, despite my almost invalid condition. I argued that if I chose a raiment soon to depart for France, my sheer nervous force, which is not inconsiderable, might sustain me till a bullet or piece of shrapnel could more conclusively and effectively dispose of me. Letters to Reinhard Kleiner, H.P. Lovecraft. But even though he passed the physical exam, his mother prevented him from going to the war. She has threatened to go to any lengths, legal or otherwise, if I do not reveal all the ills which unfit me for the army. I am Providence, the life and times of H.P. Lovecraft, S.T. Joshi. I mean, whew, can you imagine, like, feeling in your own psychology that your state would just be better to not be? And I think that it speaks a lot to the writing that Lovecraft produced, because he himself was, like, psychologically a really tortured person and felt like he was being plagued by a lot of things. And I think that really is a long-standing theme in, like, all of his life, and then it was in his writing. And I think it's fascinating how it comes out in as a sense of horror, that psychology can be horror. It's gotten so bad that it's getting into schools, a narcotic problem that is. There was a kid on my school who got caught selling hydrocodone. Yeah, it's a prevalent problem. It's saturating our country. No one knows how they got it, yeah.
The Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation. So that our vessel was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
The Huns. The Huns were Central Asian nomads who established a dominion in Europe and invaded the Roman Empire in the 5th century AD. They were known as brutal, deadly warriors and masters of quick raids who also developed powerful composite bows, lassos, and early siege weapons. During World War I, the British used the word Hun as a synonym for Germans in order to emphasize their brutality. However, the term originated when the German Emperor Wilhelm II gave a speech to his troops on the 27th July 1900 before they embarked to China. Should you encounter the enemy, he will be defeated. No quarter will be given. Prisoners will not be taken. Whoever falls into your hands is forfeited. Just as 1,000 years ago, the Huns under their king Attila made a name for themselves, one that even today makes them seem mighty in history and legend. May the name German be affirmed by you in such a way in China that no Chinese will ever again dare to look cross-eyed at a German. The refusal to take prisoners was a clear breach of the laws and customs of war adopted during the First Hague Convention of 1899.
So liberal, indeed, was the discipline of our captors, that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time. When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings. Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator. Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight.
It would be so scary to be lost out on the ocean like this. It looks like the horizon is the only thing.
The weather kept fair, and for uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land.
The return to short stories. Dagon was written in July 1917 and first published in 1919 in The Vagrant, an amateur magazine focused on the supernatural. The story is the first of his stories that introduce an element from the Cthulhu mythos. Dagon itself, a pagan cult worshipping Dagon, later appears in The Shadow over Innsmouth, one of Lovecraft's most popular works. 1917 is also the year when he wrote The Tomb, a story about Jervis Dudley, a daydreamer who discovers a mysterious mausoleum in the woods by his house and becomes obsessed with it. These two works marked Lovecraft's return to short story writing after he burned most of his attempts at the genre 9 years prior and decided to concentrate on poetry. Lovecraft stated that it was his friend, William Paul Cook, a literary publisher and critic, who convinced him to start writing weird fiction again. Weird fiction. And we are so grateful to William Paul Cook because we love the weird fiction that Lovecraft made. The ambiance of the game is pretty cool. I agree. They did a really good job of giving good sounds and visuals to this story. I think it's really nice. The artwork is beautiful. It makes it feel like I'm in this world, which is kind of unsettling.
But neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue. The change happened whilst I slept. Its details I shall never know. For my slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous.
I'm sure I want to look closer at any of this stuff, but that's how we're gonna find seagulls. Okay, I don't see anything, guys. Guess we're talking to the fish.
When at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see, and in which my boat lay grounded some distance away. Though one might well imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished. For there was in the air and in the rotting soil a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core.
Not related to this game, I got Baldur's Gate 3, and I think I'm already stuck. Oh no, Agent! You got stuck? Are you still in Act 1? I'm still in Act 1. I haven't made it super far in yet. But getting stuck, that sucks! I hate it when it happens in any game. You're still in Act 1?
The region was putrid with the carcasses of decaying fish and of other, less describable things which I saw protruding from the nasty mud of the unending plain. Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity. There was nothing within hearing and nothing in sight save a vast reach of black slime. Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear. The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet.
And the way they made, like, all the tentacles twitching around is so, like, creepy. So good. I don't see any sigils here either, guys. Okay. Oh, that's squelching. Ugh.
As I crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one theory could explain my position. Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths. So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might.
You did not expect to get a squelchy, uncomfortable ASMR today. I know, I'm like listening to it in my headphones, and it really is kind of like, ugh. I mean, it adds to the game, it's great, but at the same token, it's like, eee.
Nor were there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things.
Oh, that's moving! That looks like, I don't know, some like giant horseshoe crab, maybe? I don't know. I'm not a sea biologist person. I don't know why I'm trying to identify things like I might have a clue. I don't see any sigils. I'm like, oh man, I must be missing things again. There were so many we missed.
For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens. As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time. That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue.
I didn't notice before the tentacles like flipping around the boat. It's kind of uncomfortable that there's one of the creatures that close to us. Like to have a red glow on it. That's kind of weird. Alright.
On the third morning, I found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease.
Fun fact, crab is not a designation for a species. It is just a form that many creatures evolved into because it was superior. Like a crab isn't a creature unto itself. It's just a body type. I didn't know that. That's wild and crazy. Now I'm probably gonna go and read about that. Because that is a fun fact.
The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal. All day I forged steadily westward, guided by a faraway hummock which rose higher than any other elevation on the rolling desert.
Yeah, I don't see any sigils here either. I'm worried that I'm just missing a bunch of things all over again. I want all the goodies. That definitely has a crab leg look to it to me. Maybe a humpback whale? Maybe? Not the whale!
That night, I encamped, and on the following day still travelled toward the hummock, though that object seemed scarcely nearer than when I had first espied it.
In a place like this, I think it would be really hard to tell how far away something was. And like as tired as you were, everything would seem to take so much effort and be so far. This would be a slice of hell. Yeah, I don't see any sickles on this one either. Okay.
By the fourth evening, I attained the base of the mound, which turned out to be much higher than it had appeared from a distance. An intervening valley setting it out in sharper relief from the general surface. Too weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill. I know not why my dreams were so wild that night.
I don't know why he's surprised that he had nightmares. Like, you just walked past and crossed the expanse of a rotting landscape. How could you go through all of that and not have nightmares, dude?
But ere the waning and fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain, I was awake in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more. Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again.
Man, nightmares suck. To be honest, I'd be like, what the fuck is that? Ah! I know, right? Like, I don't think that I would be striking out and exploring. I don't think that I would. That would be so scary. I think that I would be the little weenie that just, like, hides in my boat and cry and hope that something, like, came and rescued me. And he keeps being like, I don't know why I was scared. Because you're in a hellscape.
And in the glow of the moon, I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day. Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy. Indeed, I now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset. Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the eminence.
The Loner. Contrary to popular opinion, Lovecraft was not an ever-frowning, eccentric, grumpy loner. He considered himself to be a person who appreciated humor. Moreover, he would often meet with friends in his apartment or at various cafes in Brooklyn and Manhattan. At times, his social life was so intensive his work would suffer for months. There was a point when he finally decided he needed to put an end to daily meetings and loitering in New York cafeterias and resorted to hiding at home and reading with the main room light turned off, pretending he wasn't there whenever a friend knocked on his door. He also had another method of deterring his guests, which involved greeting them in a bathrobe with an unmade bed visible in the background and piles of papers scattered across the floor. What a quirky and fun strategy for, I got shit to do and I can't get it done when I'm being social. I mean, I think all of us have had moments where somebody rings or knocks on the door and you're like, I ain't getting out of this bed, or I ain't stopping what I'm doing. I ain't here. I'm pretending I ain't here. You can't prove I'm here. I ain't answering this door. You can't make me. I think we've all done that. It's not just me, right? I'm not the only person who ignores the door. Like, I mean, I'm not saying every time, guys. Like, it's not like every time somebody's at my door, but like when you're really in the zone and you're really getting shit done and like the things are happening, you're just like, go away. I can really relate to this hiding at home idea. He was onto something.
have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me. But I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon, whose black recesses the moon had not yet soared high enough to illumine.
Well, throw shit on the floor. I'm busy, so go away, right? Sorry, are you streaming Baldur's Gate 3 tomorrow? Yes, that is the plan. Baldur's Gate 3 tomorrow.
I felt myself on the edge of the world, peering over the rim into a fathomless chaos of eternal night. Through my terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost, and of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness. As the moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined.
Alright, I don't see... I'm waiting for there to be like a sigil in the sky or something. A sigil in the stars.
Ledges and outcroppings of rock afforded fairly easy footholds for a descent, whilst after a drop of only a few hundred feet, the declivity became very gradual.
Okay, I don't see any.
Urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze, I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath, gazing into the Stygian deeps where no light had yet penetrated. All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of me. An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon.
Okay, so, like, seeing this monolith makes me think of the novel. And it's really driving me nuts because I can't think of the name of it. That featured the monoliths that were, like, put all over the planets, all over the universe, and they were, like, a way to, like, go back to this alien race. Well, it was Arthur C. Clarke, I think. 2000 something. Oh, you know, and Miss Rutch would know if he was here to tell me, and he's not, and I just... Oh, I can't remember, guys, I'm sorry. I don't see any sigils, though. Why am I thinking of Lost in Space? I know it isn't Lost in Space, but still. Lost in Space is really good, though, but no, that's not the one that I'm thinking of.
That it was merely a gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured myself.
Yes, it's just a rock. It's fine. Nothing untoward. It's just a stone.
But I was conscious of a distinct impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature.
Yeah, that perfect rectangleness of it is definitely not natural. Like, rocks don't have straight lines as a general rule. Like, yeah.
A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express.
Still not seeing any new sigils. Okay, now I'm having sigil anxiety.
For despite its enormous magnitude and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young, I perceived beyond a doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith, whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures.
I struggle with memory too. It's all good. Oh man, it drives me nuts. Like, when I know a thing and I'm trying to do that retrieval and it's just gone. It's so frustrating. It's like, where did it go? And then what never ceases to fail is that it'll be like after the conversation is over and I'm like not thinking about it anymore, then my brain will be like, oh, here's that piece of information that you were looking for. Now that you do not need it, here, let me offer it up. Here, poof. And you're just like, yeah, thanks, brain. You're just a little bit slow on the retrieval of that one. But thanks, I appreciate it. Great.
Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely.
Okay, still not seeing any sigils. Nothing in the sky. Okay. Yeah, it's frustrating. I don't think anybody likes it.
Now near the zenith, shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chasm, and revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope. Across the chasm, the wavelets washed the base of the Cyclopean monolith, on whose surface I could now trace both inscriptions and crude sculptures.
The sky's really pretty, even if the rest of the world is creepy. Alright, still not seeing anything.
The writing was in a system of hieroglyphics unknown to me and unlike anything I'd ever seen in books, consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and the like. Several characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world.
2001 Space Odyssey. That, yeah! At least it didn't take all day. Just a little delay, it's fine.
But whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain. It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound.
Storytelling methods. Dagon contains many themes and storytelling methods that Lovecraft developed in his later works, such as telling the story through carvings, At the Mountains of Madness and the Nameless City, journals and character notes, The Shadow Out of Time, The Haunter of the Dark, islands emerging from the ocean, The Call of Cthulhu, or fictional beings and deities based on real events and mythologies, Migo and the Whisperer in the Darkness. It's also considered the origin of the popular Cthulhu mythos. Some of Lovecraft's other stories also conclude in a manner similar to Dagon, but let's skip the details in order not to spoil the ending. Hello, Zebra Brick Lover, how you doing tonight? So I think that's one of the things about this particular story is how it was like the beginning of his actual storytelling style. And I think that it's really interesting that it's not really fleshed out and developed yet, but you can still really feel the flavor of the Cthulhu mythos and worlds present in this story, even though it's not really. I like that. I think it's really kind of cool.
Plainly visible across the intervening water on account of their enormous size were an array of bas-reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a doré. I think that these things were supposed to depict men, at least a certain sort of men. Though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto, or paying homage at some monolithic shrine which appeared to be under the waves as well.
I mean, in this imagery, it really makes me feel like these god creatures were reverent towards the monolith, which is really kind of interesting.
Of their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail, for the mere remembrance makes me grow faint. Grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer. They were damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips, glassy, bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant to recall. Curiously enough, they seem to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background. For one of the creatures was shown in the act of killing a whale, represented as but little larger than himself.
It's interesting how the character just automatically assumes that it would be implausible for a being to be as large as the whale, that it must be a misrepresentation of their size, rather than that these creatures would have actually been that large. And we all, who are familiar with the Lovecraft lore know that Cthulhu was enormous. You know, he would just rise out of the ocean and just tower over everything. So if anything, these carvings would misrepresent their size as being smaller than they actually were, because Cthulhu by far would have been much larger than a whale. So I don't know, I think it's interesting.
I remarked, as I say, their grotesqueness and strange size, but in a moment decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe. Some tribe whose last descendant had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born. Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist, I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me. Then, suddenly, I saw it. With only a slight churning to mark its rise to the surface, the thing slid into view above the dark waters. Vast, polyphemus-like and loathsome, it darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the monolith.
The noises. Ooh, pretty!
About which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds. I think I went mad then.
I think that's fair.
Of my frantic ascent of the sloping cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little.
Still not seeing any sigil here, okay.
I believe I sang a great deal and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing.
It must have been so awkward for the person who had to just breathe rapidly for voice acting. You know, I think about this on occasion, about what it must be like to be the person who does voice acting for games. All the little noises that our characters make when they throw punches and stuff that we don't think about. There's this person sitting in a studio going, and it's kind of ridiculous to think about them just making these isolated sounds that without context it would be so goofy. And I think, yeah, just having to awkwardly, rapidly breathe would also be in that context of being weird to do the recording. This is very cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed this game. It's just a short game, but it's been a lot of fun, and it has so much atmosphere. I think that's what I really like about it. And the fact that it has that, like, looking for the sigil component, I think really just kind of ties everything together.
I have indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat.
The sky is pretty, to be honest. Yeah, I agree. The sky is really pretty. The second I saw that thing, I would either 1, panic, 2, faint, be like, fuck this shit, I'm out, or all 3. Yeah, I think that it would be really easy for your brain to just kind of implode and not know what to do with something like that. Like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know what I would do in a situation like that.
At any rate, I know that I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods. When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital.
A much better place to find yourself.
Brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean. In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention.
I mean, if he told you that story, how could you think anything but that he was raving mad? I'm just getting ready to play the Call of Cthulhu RPG this weekend. This is so inspirational madness. Yeah, this is like really wonderful, like sounds, ambiance, and visuals. And Call of the Cthulhu RPG is so much fun. I hope you like have a fabulous time with it. Or 4, kill yourself before it could kill you, right? I mean, there is that like, what would it do to you? And like sometimes things can be worse than dying. Let's see if there's anything in here that I missed.
Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing. Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
Oh, I guess I had to wait until he was like done with the whole story. Oops. I was being impatient. The journalist. Lovecraft was a prominent figure in the world of amateur journalism. In 1915, he started publishing his own journal called The Conservative, which included political and social commentary, poetry, short stories, and literary criticism written by him and other authors. Howard was a skilled wordsmith, but he also took criticisms to heart, which resulted in his decision to step away from writing poetry and concentrate on weird fiction again. For the first time since his teenage years, Dagon, published in 1919, is one of the short stories written during that period. In this excerpt from The Conservative, the master of horror fiction explains his attitude towards warfare and the idea of world peace. Why any sane human being can believe in the possibility of universal peace is more than the conservative can fathom. Should the entire civilized world agree simultaneously to disarm, one or more nations would undoubtedly retain secret armaments, and at the proper time take advantage of their more altruistic and less astute contemporaries in a wild career of conquest against unarmed victims. No country is or ever can be above warfare until the basic impulses of the human animal shall have miraculously changed. Can't say that I completely disagree with that. Yeah, just drown yourself in the water in front of you. I mean, right? It would be better than becoming that place's victim for all time. Whoa, could you imagine getting stuck there to just kind of chill and vibe with that creature? In Defense of Dagon. In 1921, Lovecraft released a series of 3 essays. The Defense Reopens. The Defense Remains Open, and Final Words. Later publishes a collection titled In Defense of Dagon, in which he rebuked a series of criticisms directed at his work. Some notable quotations. I paint what I dream, and will let the public settle the rest amongst themselves. Mr. Monday asks the raison d'etre of Dagon. I will give it purely and simply, no reproduce a mood. Its object is the simplest in all art, portrayal. The physical horrors of war, no matter how extreme and unprecedented, hardly have a bearing on the entirely different realm of supernatural terror. Ghosts are still ghosts. The mind can get more thrills from unrealities than from realities. In the essays, Lovecraft touches upon the topics of atheism, materialism, the quest for truth, and the love of science. Yeah, nah, death is better than being trapped in that hell. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to be in that place. The Atheist. Lovecraft considered himself an atheist and absolute materialist, which he attributed partly to his early childhood interest in astronomy and science in general. In his own words, I am indeed an absolute materialist so far as actual belief goes, with not a shred of credence in any form of supernaturalism, religion, spiritualism, transcendentalism, metaphysicosis, or immortality. All I say is that I think it is damned unlikely that anything like a central cosmic will, a spirit world, or an eternal survival of personality exist. They are the most preposterous and unjustified of all of the guesses which can be made about the universe. And I am not enough of a hair splitter to pretend that I don't regard them as an errant and negligible moonshine. In theory, I am an agnostic, but pending the appearance of radical evidence, I must be classed practically and provisionally as an atheist. Sources: Against Religion, The Atheist Writings of H.P. Lovecraft, H.P. Lovecraft. Mythos: The Myths and Tales of H.P. Lovecraft, and Robert E. Howard, H.P. Lovecraft, Robert E. Howard. Dude, this shit is so fucking crazy. The note you read is so true. Wow. Yeah, Lovecraft was a really brilliant thinker, and I don't think that his works were really anywhere appreciated for what they were in his time. And now he is definitely recognized for his brilliance in both his, like, social commentary, but also just in his very horrific writing.
Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist and amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god.
Dagon was the main deity of the Philistines, worshipped throughout the Middle East as the ancient god of fertility and crops. In Hebrew, the word Dagon was a common noun for grain. The rulers of Akkad, Mesopotamia, chose him as the patron saint of their war conquest. He also appeared as the judge of the dead in an Assyrian poem and an underworld prison warder in one of the Babylonian texts. He is often mistakenly taken for a fish god due to the wrong interpretation of his name, as in Hebrew, the word dag means fish. In H.P. Lovecraft's work, Dagon is an underwater deity ruling over the deep ones, a humanoid race with fish traits that resides in the oceans. He is worshipped by a secret cult called the Esoteric Order of Dagon. I mean, you would eventually die from dehydration, hunger. If you're injured, you would probably die from infection, and so many other natural things could kill you. Yeah, I mean, you don't have the resources to maintain your life in that place at all, for sure. I mean, it would be a slow, agonizing demise at best. There's definitely got to be some secrets here in this place that I didn't see.
But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries.
The Marketeer. Lovecraft's attempts to find a job in 1925 were influenced by advice he received from friends. Among others, he started freelancing for a marketing magazine where he would write announcements and commercials. Feel free to judge his copywriting skills for yourself. From an ad for Curtis Woodwork. Curtis Woodwork embraces both the usual structural units and the cleverest contrivances of built-in or permanent furniture, such as bookcases, dressers, buffets, and cupboards. Every model is conceived and created with the purest art, ripest scholarship, and the mellowest craftsmanship which energetic enterprise can command, and made to conform rigidly to the architecture of each particular type of home. The cost, considering the quality, is amazingly low, and a trademark on the individual pieces prevents any substitution by careless contractors. Source: Lovecraft Studies, Volume 7, Number 1, H.P. Lovecraft's S.T. Joshi. Like, it's hard to think about, like, and conceptualize all the things that this guy did in his life. He just had so much. It's crazy. Bold of you to assume that everyone has one to lose in the first place, right? I mean, you do have to have sanity in order to lose it. I mean, this is very valid, Axel. I mean, if you go in there a lot nuts, well, can't lose that. August Derleth and the Cthulhu Mythos. August Derleth was an American writer and anthologist. He also befriended Lovecraft and published many of his works through his company Arkham House. Although he greatly contributed to the popularization of the author's works after his death, he is surrounded by numerous controversies. One of his most questionable decisions involved introducing the good versus evil doctrine. Derleth was a devout Catholic to the Cthulhu mythos. Well, thank you, Stacks. I really appreciate the support. Hello, Zebra Pig. It is 2:30 a.m. Good morning and good night. Bye. Well, hi, Stacks. My Stacks. Why are you awake? Go sleep, you damn fool. But thank you for the support. I appreciate it. 8 months. That's crazy. One of his most questionable decisions involved introducing good versus evil doctrine. Derleth was a devout Catholic to the Cthulhu mythos, which contrasted with Lovecraft's view of the world and his approach to cosmic horror. As a result, the author's works are often misunderstood and misrepresented in today's culture. It is also worth noting that Lovecraft was never really interested in creating a mythology, and that the term Cthulhu mythos was coined by Derleth after the author left the mortal plane. You got jump scared, right? It totally startled me too. I was not expecting it. I mean, the sound alerts are nice because they definitely make sure that I notice when things are happening. But I will also say that they frequently, like, startle me. Sometimes I suspect people do the things just to see me jump. I'm sure that's not what's happening. No, no, no. Alright, let's go see if there's something at this clock, because it feels like there should be. Ah, there it is, there it is! There's a thing, there's a thing! I bet with all the rot, some sort of disease or fumes of the rot would be running rampant through that place too. I mean, death and decay definitely comes with a high microbial count, so anytime you would have like that much desiccation, there would absolutely be risk that you would get something. I mean, yeah, for sure. The scientist. These days, the word scientist is a widely accepted term, but at the time of Dagon was published, it was subject to a wide debate. After the author used it in the story, critics pointed out that man of science was a more appropriate term to employ. He admitted in the defense of Dagon that if Dagon were to be reprinted, he would indeed use the phrase they suggested. Scientist was coined as an analog to artist to be used when referring to those studying different branches of science. Yet in the 19th and early 20th century, scientific researchers in Great Britain and the United States were of the opinion that man of science, resembling the term man of letters, was the only proper choice. Among other things, it was gender specific, indicating that science was an endeavor to be pursued by only one sex. The term scientist became more accepted only after World War II, and man of science started fading into obscurity as an old-fashioned synonym. Ah, yes, we must make everything like elitist and sexist. We can't just open the world for everyone's exploration, blah. Is that the only tidbit? I feel like there's I want all the bits. All right. I mean, we definitely got more. I somehow didn't register the zoom.
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing. I tried morphine, but the drug has given only transient surcease and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave. So now I am to end it all, having written a full account for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men.
There we go. There's another one. Oh no, we read this one. Lovecraft on tobacco and alcohol. Lovecraft hated tobacco, even though he used to smoke when he was 12. In order to look and feel like an adult, in his correspondence with friend Reinhard Kleiner, he claims that he quit as soon as he started wearing long pants. I like how wearing long pants is associated with adulthood. It's such a weird idea, but it comes from this idea that school uniforms used to be shorts, so that when you left school you would wear actual long pants, which is such a weird thing to me. Yes, I'm an adult, I can wear pants! Yay, pants! He also had a very strong opinion about alcohol, as evidenced by his letter to Zelia Brown, dated 13th of February 1928. As for the matter of drinking, I have never tasted intoxicating liquor and never intend to, having a strong aesthetic disgust at anything which blunts or coarsens the delicate natural equipoise of the evolved human intellect and imagination. Drinking excited my personal repugnance, hence, I don't drink. Let the herd do what they will. I am rather in favor of prohibition, the prohibition of any one antisocial force as well as any other. Source: The Spirit of Revision. Lovecraft's letters to Zelia Brown Reed Bishop, H.P. Lovecraft, Sean Branney, and Andrew Lehman, S.T. Joshi. Is this all the things? Oh, I don't feel confident that we've gotten all of them.
Often, I ask myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm.
Where's pants? Yes! Yes, I am adulting! I have leveled up with pants! I mean, it's just a really, distinct example of how our society and cultural norms change over time, and how things that we take for granted and is just so normal in our lives, if looked at outside of our cultural mores, is actually kind of ridiculous and silly and has no context or bearing on really anything relevant. Like pants being for adults.
A mere freak of fever as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat after my escape from the German man-of-war. This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply. I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed, worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite. I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind. Of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium.
I don't see any there either.
The end is near. At the door, as of some immense slippery body lumbering against it.
I definitely would not want to go to that door. I don't see... Oh, wait. Elder sign. At another house where people were stirring, he asked questions about the gods and whether they danced often upon Lyrion. But the farmer and his wife would only make the elder sign and tell him the way to Nir and Ulthar, the dream quest of unknown Kadath, H.P. Lovecraft. Elder sign is a protective symbol that can be found in various works of pop culture, usually represented by a 5-pointed star with an eye flame symbol in its center. For example, in games inspired by H.P. Lovecraft's writing, it is supposed to ward away all kinds of cosmic horrors. However, this is a later version of the sign created by the author's friend, writer August Derleth. In our game, we have used the original symbol as designed by Lovecraft in the form of the 6-pointed branch, which he sometimes included in letters to his friends. Interesting. I mean, to sign your name and then be like, Elder sign! But I guess it would have a lot of different context to it now than it did then. I don't see any more symbols. Have you seen this symbol?
It shall not find me.
I don't want it to find me.
God, that hand! The window! The window!
Open the door! No! Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin! Oh, look how it, like, has everything kind of, like, weird and inky. That's a cool effect. I don't see any more signs, though. Alright, I guess. Here we go! Ah! I think one of the things that always has made Lovecraft's work so good is how much he has always left unsaid. And he doesn't try to like answer all the questions, and he doesn't try to describe the horrors in every fine detail. He doesn't try to like give you everything. Like, he leaves a lot of things left for the imagination to fill in for itself, which the reality is that we're going to fill in with much greater horror than anything that an author could imagine for us, because we know what disturbs us for ourselves better than anyone else does. So I think that was part of the masterpiece in his writing, because I feel like a lot of authors try too hard to give too many answers. And it doesn't look like that alert is working, and I don't know why.
Emotional damage.
Well, okay. It definitely plays, so why didn't it do it when you did it? I don't know. I don't know why it's not working. I'm sorry that it's not working. I'll have to troubleshoot. And we got most of the trivia and lore this time. I feel like, yay, we did much better going through. So, what do you guys think? Was this game a lot of fun? Was this worth doing? There are others. Are they worth like exploring and doing more of these visual novel style games? I'm definitely looking at like what kinds of things we can be doing in the future. So if this is something that you guys enjoyed, you know, be sure to let me know, because it's something that I will consider doing in the future, because this company specifically has others that we could like read and partake in. It's okay, just imagine that playing when he was talking about not knowing if it was real or when he jumped out the window, right? That would have been much better timing. I don't know why it's working. I'm so sorry. Good job, Zebra Pig. It was really cool how they included facts about H.P. Lovecraft. Yeah, I really liked the way that they added like an explorative element to the game, because it made it feel more like, you know, you were engaging with it rather than just watching. There is a setting where you can do autoplay, and you can just watch it, and it will just visually move through the game, and you can just listen to it read to you. So you don't have to like navigate the story if you don't want to. So there is that autoplay option, which I think is a cool secondary feature to have if you wanted to just experience the story and not have the interruptions and not want to have to like click through and you just listen to a story. So I do like that they make that as a setting choice. I think that's cool too. All right, so let me change our stream information, because we are now done with Dagon. We're gonna do some chatting. So that people don't come here and think that, oh, we were supposed to have a game. So I have always been a really big fan of horror for like as long as I can remember, and Lovecraft has always been one of the mythos sets and story sets that has, you know, always come up. I will say that I myself am not a huge hardcore fan of Lovecraft, primarily because I feel like his stories are kind kind of a one tone, one note. Like, once you've read a story, they pretty much all play out the same way, so I don't feel like there's a lot of diversity in them. But I do feel that he very masterfully presents and writes about the experience of existential dread. And I do enjoy some of the language and the way that he uses that to describe the experience. And I definitely love the explosion of stuff that has produced from his world and has spawned from that. Hey there, child, how you doing? Yes, Queen! Right? Okay, and guys. So I have a thing. I ordered some slime, and it came today, and I'm super excited, and I'm gonna show you my slime, okay? So I'm smoking this new Delta Hemp Amazing for MS. Oh yeah? Is it like your first go at it? The Secret Window by Stephen King was a good book and movie. I haven't seen that one. Oh, there's so many things to read. Yes, unboxing. And you like it better than 420. Nice. So are you guys like are you guys super fans of slime? Because I could play with slime all day. Yay, slime! But all of it is good, to be honest. Nice. It always makes me think, maybe this is not fiction, since it's always written from the ordinary. Yes, exactly. He always has a very, like, mundane flavor to his writing. What?
I wondered if you'd actually make it through the stream without getting the slime out.
We're there. Okay, so I got two kinds, and this is from Peachy Babies, which I've heard really, really good things about, and I've watched lots of reviews on. Most of the time, I like...
Not sponsored, but you know, if they want to.
Not sponsored. Most of the time, I've made my own slime, but I've gotten to the point where I really can't do it anymore. It takes a lot of upper body stuff that I just don't have. So I decided that I'm going to try buying slime, and I'm gonna see how this slime is. I've heard really good things, and I'm hoping that it's really good. So I got the jelly fruit candy. Oh wait, I don't even know if you can see it. And I got the pink sugar crisp. So it comes with the two slimes, and it comes with your slime care cheat sheet. And I don't know what all else is in here. Yes, Peach Babies. Oh, are you familiar with this slime, child? Oh, you love slime, Alistair? Nice. We used to have slime as a kid, not anymore. I fidget with clickety things and spinners more than that. Yeah. I do like clickety ones. Those make really nice fidgets. Yeah, they're YouTube shorts. Yes, I've totally been watching their YouTube shorts, and I really, really love the look of it and the sound of their slime. So I'm really hoping that it's even like half as amazing as their videos are. So they sent you some they sent me stickers with it. And it looks like it also came with a slime is the mood bracelet, which I can totally hard relate. This is for sure. But people around me hate having me clicking away. Oh, exactly. That's why I don't tend to use the clicky ones. All right, and it comes with the little squishy guy. I think that one's for the white slime. It's like one of the little squishy animal creatures that like meet. I'm sure the sound effects make it. And I still have like creepy Dagon music playing in the background while I'm playing happily with slime. Here, just a second, guys. Let's get rid of the creepy sound effects in the background, and maybe turn on some like chill, relaxing music to go with our slime experience. Like, wait, we gotta set the mood right. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I don't know what happened. All right, there we go. And then you also get like a bunch of the little slices to put into your fruity one. Okay. And I have to say that this box is really nice. The creepy music is a mood, though. I mean, you're not wrong. I like that they give you, like, a really sturdy box because it gives you a place to, like, store all the stuff. So that's nice. It's not just, like, a crappy little cardboard box. It's one that I can, like, contain everything back into. And I really like that they give you a little spray bottle of the activator so that if your slime is too sticky, you have the stuff to, like, deal with it. I like that. That's nice. So those are some nice things that they do. And they tell you, like, on your little slime care card what to do if your slime is having different problems. So that's also nice. It tells you how to, like, take care of it and store it and all of that so that you get the longest shelf life. And I appreciate that because I want my slime to last forever! And it never does, and it always makes me so sad. Okay, so I'm gonna open the jelly fruit candy first. And we'll put the little jelly fruits in it. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys. This smells like jelly beans. Slime being a pet and shit, right? It feels that way to me. Like, I want it to last forever.
Wait.
Okay, get all my little bits in there. Okay. I keep, like, waiting for my hand to twitch to the wrong moment and, like, smells like, it does! It smells like jelly beans. Have you ever, like when you open a bag of jelly beans and you get that mixed general fruity smell? It smells like that. Okay, so. Oh my gosh, guys. This is like. What's jelly beans? Ads! You know, like jelly beans! The little candies. I mean, I do know them, but I can't recall this smell. Fruity! Yeah, like fruity. Like a little fruit disowned. Okay. I'm really liking the smell of this one. This is a lot of fun. A little sticky, which is not surprising because it came on a worm day, and when you get slime worm, it's sticky. That's like slime MO. I'm gonna work it a little bit and see if the, like, stickiness resolves. If not, I'll give it a little squirt. I remember jelly beans smelling more citrus, like, fruity in general. I think it depends on the, like, brand, but, like, why I think of that is because of the, like, general mixed scent quality of it.
Oh yeah, this is definitely a little too sticky.
We're definitely gonna have to, like, give it a little spritz. And it is definitely potent smelling. Like, there's no subtlety to this smell. So if you are scent sensitive, this might not be a good choice. I will say that. I don't know if they have any, like, unscented options, but this one is definitely, like, whoa, scented! Alright, let's see if we can, like... Oh, Oh, it's like a little spritz bottle. How useful.
It's not bad, but it's definitely pungent.
Yeah, it's not a bad smell, but it is definitely very strong. For sure. I like that they made the activator in a little spritz bottle. That was, like, super easy to put on my slime, and I didn't have to, like, pour it and worry about making a mess. And it's a way to, like, really regulate just a little bit at a time. Oh yeah, this is good stuff, guys. Here, let me, like, tip this down a little bit. Yeah. So how many people coming into this stream were like new to Lovecraft, and how many people had like seen the whole Lovecraft world before or read his short stories? I think that I first encountered the whole Lovecraftian lore like back in high school. I mean, so ages and eons ago. Oh yeah, like this was just like 2 little squirts of activator and it's already like way better. And not like super sticky anymore. So this is good stuff. This is a really nice slime, guys. I'm excited. I'm gonna be playing with this a lot. You've read Lovecraft, but not all of it. Oh, there is so much of Lovecraft that it is definitely hard to read all of it. I've definitely not read all of it either. I think that I have read more work based off of Lovecraftian lore than I have read the actual Lovecraft itself, which is kind of funny. But I find that the stories that are based on his stuff is a lot of fun, and I think that I've enjoyed those more. And I definitely have enjoyed the Cthulhu kind of based role-playing games. The whole gotta be careful what you do or you're gonna go crazy, that's pretty intense stuff. So you were not familiar, but it was cool. I like following stories and watch you play games where you're just going with the story. So you really like the visual storytelling? Call of Lucio, slime and cosmic horror. Great combination. I mean, slime seems appropriate to a discussion of Call of Cthulhu to me. I mean, it's very slime-based. Yes, yes. I don't have any tentacles to bring out. Sorry, guys. I just got the slime. I'm not even really sure, like, that I've seen much in the way of, like, Cthulhu-based movies. There's a game that I want to play that's called Sucker for Love that is absolutely hilarious looking, and it's basically a romance game where you're trying to woo one of the eldritch horrors. Oh my gosh, it is so freaking funny. Yeah, like, that's what got me hooked to games like Soma. And since they're games that I don't usually play, I'm like, what's gonna happen next session? Right? Yeah, I got you covered on the tentacles. Thank you, Alistair. There's the tentacles. It would be really super weird and awkward if I suddenly started spawning tentacles and just like, tentacles! Spaghetti dinner! I'm pretty sure that we cannot do spaghetti dinner on stream. Nope. Banned activity, I'm sorry. So yeah, we're doing a tentacle night tonight, and then tomorrow we're fighting against mind flayers in Baldur's Gate, so we'll just have more tentacles. I mean, I don't know. Maybe tentacles is becoming a theme. There's even tentacles in Don't Starve Together and Don't Starve in the Swamp. So, yeah, there's all kinds of tentacles, guys. Calamari, right? Calamari is really good stuff. It is super, super good. All right, so this one's really good. It's a really like soft slime, but it has so much stretch to it. It's really nice. All right, so first impression of Peachy Baby Slimes is super positive. I'm really liking it and really excited about it, and I want it to last forever. I'm gonna put this one back in its little bucket so I can pull out the other one and check it out. I almost opened it as soon as Miss Raj handed it to me in the car on the way home, but I was like, there is no way that I'm going to open this slime in the car Because it'll be my luck that I will drop it and it'll just like bleh, all the stuff that's on the bottom floor of this car. Yeah, no. That would have been my luck because I'm that uncoordinated. So this one has all of its charms and stuff already in it, like sitting on the top. Ooh, here, let me. So it's got like little bunnies and hearts and X's and O's. And this one is a mixture of a like little beads and a fizz slime. And I've never used a fizz slime, so we'll see how that works. It's supposed to be a super crunchy one. Not me thinking that they were small skulls, right? I mean, given the topic. Okay, this is definitely going to need, as I like have strings. I don't know if you can see that on the stream. I don't know if my camera picks it up. But it has like all these little fine hairs. There has to be a Halloween slime version, right? I mean, I bet that they have, like, Halloween slime for sure. That would be, like, a really missed opportunity if not. Because, like, slime and Halloween is, like, definitely a pairing meant to be. Oh, and there's, like, a little rabbit charm in him. In it. He's all like little guy in it. Yeah, I had no idea what I would like how long this whole story Dagon was gonna take. And I had no idea what I was gonna do after if it didn't fill the time. I was like, oh, maybe I'll just shoot the shit with them. I'm usually pretty good with that. And then Mr. Rotch gave me this slime and now I'm just like, yes, the slime. Smelling like candy corn. Yeah, like candy corn Halloween slime. There, have my slime idea, companies, right? I'm thinking that candy corn slime sounds like a fantastic idea. Especially if you could get it to have little candy corn, like, charms in it. That would be amazing. Like, I don't even know if I can get this to where you can hear it. Yes, slime, the forbidden jello. I mean, this one smells more like a soap to me. It's a pleasant smell, but it has more of a soap smell quality to it than the other one that definitely smelled edible. I don't smell this and think that this is something that I could eat. This smells like something that I would, like, wash with. Which is not objectionable. I mean, it doesn't smell like weird and gross. I don't know what the scent is supposed to be on this one. I'm not really good at identifying the whole smell things. Another one's skull candy themed for my Latino peeps. Oh, that would be fun too. And that one could be like really colorful and bright. That would be a lot of fun. Give me the slime companies on the line. I have ideas here. Right? Like, guys, I got ideas. We must get these ideas down and made into some things. Oh, goodness. At least it doesn't smell like rot. Exactly. Like, you know, imagine him, like, picking up the slime that he was, like, wading through, that we, like, had that squelch in the beginning of the game there. Like, when he first started moving around, and then he just, like, scoops it up, and he's like, look! And it's all, like, black and gooey, and he's all like, yes, guys, I have this stuff! And it just smelled like black death. Just... Nah, we're good. We can pass on that. It's fine. Everything's fine. This one is definitely more gooky.
Definitely more cookie.
I think I have little slime bits all over me. We'll just have to keep going with stream forever at all time because I can't touch anything. My hands are so gross now. Because I touch my mouse and it just like glues my hand to it. It's fine. It's fine. We're just here now, guys. This is where we live. Is it always that sticky? No, I'm just working the activator in it. It's because it was mailed in the heat. And heat makes slime warm. I mean, yes, heat makes slime warm. That was brilliant. Heat makes slime sticky. Disease and maggots written all over the black slime death, right? I mean, maybe that's what we need. A black slime death slime for Halloween. Do like little gummy worms and insects in it. Make it like a black oily gook stuff. I still wouldn't want it to be smelling gross though. A dark goth slime, right? I mean, it could be like a neutral, like, non-scent, but I wouldn't want it to, like, be scented to smell like death, though. That would be a little bit too much. I mean, the other alternative is they could take it and make it this kind of texture and just color it the color of, like, your internal organs and give it that kind of, like, dark red color so that it looked like it was a little meat lump that you were playing with. That reminds me, I wore black lipstick today. Nice! Hey, you gotta just, like, embrace your, whatever aesthetic, I guess, look you're going for. How long does slime last or live since it's a pet now? Yes, this is Crunchy, my pet slime. He's very nice. He's my good buddy. So it depends on the quality of the slime and how well you take care of it. Based on the things that I have been reading about this particular company, people have talked about their slime lasting more than a year, which is like a really good shelf life for your slime. If you know how to like revive slimes, then even after it's sat on the shelf for a really long time and gotten weird, then you can use chemistry to do a lot of slime revival. And they do give you that information of like how to revive your slimes on the card. So in theory, if you take care of your slime well, like kind of indefinitely, it's more likely to be an issue of it getting crap in it. Like, inevitably, like, when you play with it, it's sticky, and if you drop it or whatever, it's gonna get, like, stuff stuck in it, and it's gonna get kind of gross on that context. So I think that would be a limiting factor, regardless of the quality of the slime. The slime that I made personally was never high-quality slime. I was never a super awesome slime maker. I never had, like, the amazing balance of chemistry. Mine only lasted for, like, a few months, even when it was taken care of well before it started to kind of, like, rubberize. I felt all powerful with your black lipsticks and platform boots. Nice. Hey, that's what's important. You want to, like, dress and go out in the world in a way that makes you feel more you and makes you feel comfortable in your own skin, rather than dressing in a way that appeases other people. I would feel tempted to bite it. The smell, the consistency, all of it. Yeah, bite. You definitely don't want to bite it. These are not edible. Like, this one, though, does have, like, a, like, almost crunchy nougat quality to it. It is quite delightful. I mean, look at it. It's like... I'm like the worst slime video, guys. I'm definitely not a good slime video. You used to bite stuff like plastiline and Play-Doh just to feel it. Oh, yeah. Oh, no! Somebody redeemed a Zed and I'm covered in slime! It feels chewy, bite, right? Miss Raj! Help! Help! I didn't think this through! Poor Zed. This is what happens, and you want to bite it. Mr. Raj should have to give to Zed life. Mr. Raj! He might not come to our mercy. Zed might be like resigned to the sideline tonight. See, Lily agrees. I mean, I can definitely see where the urge to bite it comes from. And this is probably why many slime companies on the bottom of their slime jar write, "Do not eat." I mean, like, guys, I can't Zed. Look at this, Look at, like Zed would be permanently, I don't even know. Like, his poor little fur. Biting is not eating. I'm just saying that it shouldn't go in your mouth if it's not edible. That would be my argument to the label. You would just stare at the label and be like, "But I'm not eating it. I'm just biting it a little bit. It's fine." And you know, you can see Zed right there. See, look at him. Right, that's Unas. Hey, that's Zed right there. You have the urge to bite things like slime and stuff like that all the time. Yeah. Maybe if I can get the activator worked into this enough, we can pull out Zed, but we're all on the same team here. Bite. Not you, Zebrapig. Oz. Oh. Uthgar crawls into chat. Have you died yet? So as I can expire. Hello, Uthgar. No deaths today. I mean, I guess maybe because we did jump out a window. So, I mean, in which case, yes, twice. I'm not telling you to bite it. Bite! This was probably one of my, lesser thought out streams. It's fine. How about a nibble? Just a little. It's fine. Now you got Uthgar on us. Uthgar, don't support them in this. But how you doing tonight, Uthgar? Welcome. I was really happy that this package came. It was kind of a drama day. I guess I'll go with drama. One of those days where there's lots of peopling and interpeopling problem things that can be very taxing at work. So when I got out of work and was presented with this happy box of delight, I was like, "Oh yay! Yes, this is happiness in a box." Good, just got out of ASL class. Oh, you're taking sign language? Very cool. Who's gonna finish the Baldur video? But, you're alive! Yes, I'm here. Opens mouth and is about to bite the slime. Ah! But my slime! My precious! My poor little Crunchy. What did he do to you? Did you ask for his consent? I didn't hear him tell you it was okay to bite him. Or how about neutral ground and lick it? I don't think that's neutral ground. I think that's still bad for you. Like, this is not edible, guys. Like, you aren't supposed to put edible things in your face hole. It's not a good idea. Lick is worse than biting. Isn't that marshmallow fluff? It is not marshmallow fluff, but it does kind of have that consistency, doesn't it? She just says that because she's a nurse. It's fine, guys. We can bite stuff as long as we don't eat it. Yes, I do say that because I am a nurse. And I don't want to see any of you go to the ER because of weird bite poisonings. Adds to the box. It's fine. It's totally fine. I almost bit slime once, but my friend walked in and was like, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, that is a really good question if you're getting ready to be eating slime. I mean, you can make, like, edible slimes. This is just not amongst that fare. Like, you can make, like, peanut butter-based slimes and all, like, kinds of, like, edible doughs and stuff. But again, this is not that. I mean, cookie dough could fall into the category of an edible slime. I mean, one could make that argument. And cookie dough is pretty freaking amazing. But I don't think that I would ever, like, use it like slime because I would be too busy eating it. Because cookie dough is amazing! It's like nom 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 nom, all of it. Like, chocolate chip cookie dough is just so good. Why would you want to, like, squish it around in your hands when you can stuff it in your face hole? But not all cookie dough, by the way, is safe to be consumed because raw cookie dough often comes with eggs. So you have to be careful that it doesn't have raw egg in it. You have to either make sure that it's a pasteurized dough or that it is one that doesn't have eggs in it. So be careful with your cookie doughs. You don't want to get salmonella poisoning. I mean, or I guess live life dangerously. You know the risks now. I mean, it is a choose your own adventure kind of life. Every day we kind of just fuck around and find out. I mean, that's kind of how life works, isn't it? Have any of you guys tried making your own slime? It is so much fun. I had a blast making my own slime. I mean, I was never really particularly good at it, but there was something absolutely delightful in watching things that were so, like, mundane, boring, and not slimy to become this, like, really cool, sticky, gooky, squishy stuff that was just so fun to add things into. And there was also, like, that, I don't know, science-y aspect of trying to figure out, well, how do I make it less sticky? How do I make it more stretchy? What do I add to it to make it this? You're banning a lot of stuff to put in the face hole today. Ads. More things in life should not go in your mouth than should. That is the nature of living safely. You should say no more often than yes when it comes to putting things in your face hole. Well, thank you, Call of Lucho. I appreciate you coming and hanging out with us, and I hope you have a fabulous dinner. Bye! Everything can be edible if you set your mind to it. I mean, you're not wrong. There's some people in, like, Guinness World Book of Records and stuff who have eaten some weird stuff. But that does not mean that it is recommended. It doesn't mean it's a good idea. No, it's not baby's first identity if it's safe or not by putting it in the mouth. Nah, I'm not even saying eat. Just bite and take out. Yeah, but see, the problem is that our mucosal membrane is really absorptive. So if it's not safe to eat, that means that you're at risk of whatever you're putting in your mouth, that not safe stuff, being absorbed by your mouth, whether it is toxic chemicals or bacteria. Like, our mouth is really good at just absorbing stuff. Like, that's its job, right? Just like 3 seconds, the 3-second rule. Like, dude, the 3-second rule. Microbes don't care about your 3-second rule. That much I can say with certainty. Okay, put a plastic cover over the mucosa membrane. Okay, so like, you just put this in a plastic bag and then you mow on it? I mean, I guess. Like slime condoms, right? Ziploc baggie. God. I mean, as long as you're not biting through the plastic bag, yes, this theoretically could work. You can still feel the consistency of the slimy slime. I mean, yep, you could definitely still feel it. I love how we're problem solving, how you can bite slime and not poison yourself. It's like a condom. Those go into people's mouths all the time. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, condoms are super stretchy. Just get one and put the slime in it specifically. Oh my god. There's a quote. Guys, get a condom and put your slime in it. It's perfect. It's the perfect solution to all your biting problems. Welcome to the wholesome zebra pig stream where we talk about slimy condoms. And we're still sort of talking about food. I'm not sure how this works, but here we are. Okay, I think I need to go with the one that's a little bit less sticky. So that maybe sometime today I won't have a film on me and I can, like, you know, touch my stuff again. It's fine. What could possibly go wrong? What kind of slime in the condom? I mean, I guess it's up to you, you know? Put the slime in the condom and tie it off, then put it in your mouth. I mean, this is real commitment, finding solutions and shit. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, we're being problem solvers, guys. It's important to you know, acknowledge the problems in your life and look for ways to solve those problems. And when in doubt, find friends to help you. So, I mean, we've got that going for us. So, guys, the two slimes that I got are the jelly fruit candy and the pink sugar crisp. And these are from Peachy Babies. And they are absolutely amazing. I am thoroughly enjoying them. If you like slime, I would tell you that I think these ones are worth the money. Am I wrong, or was there a special thing that made your follows blow up? Well, hello there, Dishwash'em. I don't know if I would call it special, but I did have a viral event. I sang happy birthday, and that went viral. So, I mean, there was definitely an event that led to my channel kind of blowing up. So there's that. It was a very strange experience, and not the reason that I ever expected to ever get any kind of attention or popularity. Think outside the plastic box or container of your choice, right? Yeah, I gotta have, like, creative thinking. Get some plexi tape and fill it with slime to make a biteable stress ball. Oh, goodness. Oh my goodness. They are named after food, for Pete's sake. I mean, they are named after food, but they are not edible. I mean, just because you met a person that was named after food doesn't mean that you should eat them. I mean, however, a person would be safer to eat for your body than this slime, but that's entirely besides the point. I'm sure that does not mean I'm endorsing that you go and consume people. Just that's not what's being said here at all. They may want to be eaten, right? I mean, consenting adults. Whatever happens between consenting adults. Exactly. It's all about that consent and food slime. The weird conversations that we have here, guys. I'm not sure how we end up here, but here we are. This slime is really, really nice. It has, like, an almost fluffy quality to it. That's the only way I can kind of describe it. I've never had a slime texture that's quite like this one. I don't even know, like, what kind of... I think this one was a butter slime, and I had never tried them, so... Can Flex Seal be put in the mouth? I don't know what is Flex Seal? You guys asked me some of the weirdest questions. What is Flex Seal? Thick rubberized liquid that you can brush, roll, dip, or pour to cover larger areas. It starts out thick and liquid and dry. Oh. Oh. Well, all right. I mean... What should you not use Flex Seal on? Not recommended for foam. I can't say that I know enough about Flex Seal to have an opinion. Just make the cookie already. Welcome back, Agent. How you doing? I'd say put it in a condom and bite it. I mean, at least we know that condoms are safe to put in your mouth. Like, they're supposed to be safe to come in contact with your mucous membranes. They are designed for that. Flex Seal slime jawbreakers. Oh, good God. That sounds like quite the thing. What have you come into? Well, Agent, I'm not really sure what you've come to, but you've come to the place. You're here now. Welcome back. Do you have any regrets? Not really if you're allergic. I mean, definitely if you're allergic, it shouldn't go in your person. I mean, that's definitely true. Regardless of what the thing is, if you're allergic, don't put it in your person. I mean, guys. Avoid things you're allergic to. Yes, definitely avoid the things you're allergic to. I'm really liking butter slime. I haven't had butter slime before, and this is like a really nice, fluffy kind of texture. I have no idea. I have no clue what I'm allergic to. My list is all too long. Gotta go. Keep on biting stuff, guys. Don't listen to Saberpig. Well, thank you, Ads, for coming and hanging out with us. And stop biting random things, alright? It's not good for you. Flex Seal gummy rolls. Oh, goodness. Flex Seal, right? Like the animal, he's flexing. Flex Seal gummies. So it's just like a little gummy bear, but it's like a seal that's like showing you how muscular he is. Oh, goodness. Somebody's leaving, right, Alistair? I feel that. Sometimes people will say bye to me and I'll be like, I don't know, somebody's going. I don't I don't know. Especially if lots of people say goodbye to them too, I can quickly lose track of who was leaving. It'll be like, goodbye, whoever it was. Sorry, I have no idea. I'm clueless. You've had a long day, yeah. I can't even claim it's that. Me, it's just how my brain works. I think it's just like the squirrels not wanting to do any of the things. Is Flex Seal a US only thing? I have heard of it from memes, but I've never seen it in a shop. Plus, I don't think that I have been in the right shop. I have no idea if it's sold in other countries, but Americans being what they are, it's definitely, I can definitely see why you've heard of it from memes. Flex Seal is a brand. Stops leaks fast and more. Be your own handyman in a can with Flex Seal products. Coat, seal, and protects with Flex Seal. Flex Shot, Flex Seal Liquid, Flex Tape, Flex Goo, Flex Minis, and now improved Flex Paste. I mean, they're just all over this, man. Wait, slime in condom in Ziploc bag, extra thick protection, but you won't feel the slime as much. I mean, that's always it when you got protection. It's a balance of how much you feel and how protected you are. It's always the balance, isn't it, Edgar? Flex Tap, the main one I see. Maybe. I really don't know. I wasn't aware of this product. Oh, Flex Tape. Gotcha. Just Phil Swift. Think I spelled his name wrong. I need what Sherlock's home has. A mind palace. I can keep track of things easier. I mean, Mind Palace is definitely a research-backed memory system, and if you are interested in having a memory palace, there are books and seminars where you can learn the memory palace skill. It is definitely a very learnable thing, and it originates like with monks who were learning to memorize the Bible, actually. Kind of odd and weird. At least that's my understanding of the history. I won't claim to be an expert. What's a memory palace? So memory palace is what people frequently use when they are competing in memory competitions, and like people who memorize all of the digits of pi and they try to go out as far and compete with who can memorize the most numbers of pi, or stuff like that. Or they'll go on to competitions and you will get decks of cards that are shuffled, and each card has an image on it, and they'll shuffle them, and then you get like 1 minute to go through the 100 cards, and then you have to like tell your tester what the cards are as they flip them up and look at them. So there's all these memory competitions, and the memory palace is a system for augmenting and improving your ability to remember things. And basically how it works is it's the idea of using visualization and association when you're trying to remember things. So you create a place in your mind, and this is your quote-unquote memory palace. And research shows that it works the best if you pick a place that you are intimately familiar with, a place that you grew up with, a place that you frequented, just a place that you know really well and you can visualize really easy without any effort. The more familiar you are with the place, the better. So if you're given a list of like items that you're supposed to remember, the idea would be you would move through this place in your mind, and you would place those objects in your room, and as you do that, you would associate them with why they're there. So say you're supposed to remember goat slime and cheese whiz, right? So you would say my memory palace was my living room. I come into the living room and I see a goat chilling on the couch playing video games. And he is playing a slime simulator game while eating Cheese Whiz. You know, you kind of like tell a story and a narrative in this place with these objects. And the very nature of telling a story in a familiar location is more likely that we will remember things. So that's the basic idea of it. It's a lot more complicated than that, but that's the basic idea. And research shows that people who use Memory Palace do improve their memory. They've done research where they've shown people who have never used Memory Palace, went through Memory Palace training, and then were able to perform in memory tests significantly better. So if you struggle with memory, it is one of the few memory systems, memory improvement systems that has been shown to actually have really consistently provable results. Holy condom of Slamoli! Can you improve like that? Oh, like how I think of high flounder position, I memorize high flower because flower stands up. I mean, yeah, we do better when we tell stories, when we associate, when we do like alliteration, you know, make things sound interesting. And this is why we can remember the lyrics of songs better than we can a lot of other things, because it has music, it has a sound associated with it. It generally tells a story, it has a rhythm. You know, there's a lot of things that we're associating to the words of that song, which makes it so that people are statistically much more likely to remember the lyrics of a song than they are any other random word set. So it's really kind of interesting the way that our brains can use those things to improve the way that our memory works when we want to memorize stuff. Guys, if you are fans of slime, this slime is like this slime is 10 out of 10. Like I'm really liking this slime. This butter slime is freaking amazing. I thought that I was gonna like the crunchy slime more. I do like the crunchy slime, but this butter slime is like, I don't know. It smells so good. It feels so nice. This is perfection in a blob, man. Perfection in a blob. The only thing is that there's way more of it than I can easily hold. So that's easily solved. I just left the majority of the slime in the slime bucket. I've not found a slime I liked, especially not when it gets dirty. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to keep slime clean for sure. I used to be able to change the song in my head like a car radio. Yeah, like just be like listening to it and then change to a different one. That's interesting. Yeah, I definitely don't like it when stuff gets stuck into the slime. And for me, that's one of the biggest factors about why I won't say that slime lasts for a really long period of time, because I don't like it when it has all the gunk in it. So even though it's still like a good slime texture and it's like salvageable to like be able to perk it up with activator or whatever, if it's got like a bunch of gunk in it, I don't like it as much. So for me, that's where the shelf life of slime is, especially since I'm really good at dropping stuff and I'll be playing along and I'll just like blop it and then it just ends up with some extra stuff in it that you didn't need. It's fine. I think that the human memory is like a really interesting and bizarre functioning thing to think about, like the very different way that different people remember stuff. Like my memory is like so random, it feels. The songs that are stuck in my head mixes with the song I'm playing to focus on task. My brain makes its own mix, and sometimes I like, hey, why do these work so well together, right? It can be really interesting why two songs mixed together. Like like some of the ones that I've seen people mix together, it's like, why does that even work? I'll just be randomly vibing to the music in my head, even though there's no actual music. Like, that's definitely happened for me. Like, I can hear music in my mind as clearly and crisply as if it were playing in the room, especially for, like, Blue October that I've heard 8 billion times. So I definitely don't need a radio playing to be able to just jam to my tunes. And sometimes I will forget that other people can't hear it. That can be awkward. Are you a fan of medieval stuff or things? I find history in general to be very interesting, so not necessarily specifically the medieval era. It is one of the eras that I find interesting, but I find history overall to be very fascinating. I think that it's interesting to look at culture outside of the context of culture. And I think that one of the easiest ways to do that is to look historically, because those cultures don't exist anymore. So it's not likely that they don't exist as they did then. So it's not like your analysis of that culture and looking at their mores is likely to be offensive. So I think that we can learn a lot about humanness and human culture, evaluating historical context without getting into the messiness of being offensive in analysis in current culture. Like, it's really difficult when you talk about religion being a mythology if you're talking about current religion, because people don't like the idea of associating their religion with mythology because it makes it sound not real. When that's not really what the word mythology means, that's what we've associated with it in the mainstream. So things like that can make people touchy about analysis of culture. And it can be difficult to do analysis of culture in a non-egocentric way. Like, we're all, like, entrenched in our own culture. So when we talk about, like, pants make you an adult, you cannot wear pants until you are adulting. Like, the only reason why that sounds ridiculous to us is because, like, everybody wears pants now. So the idea of waiting until you're an adult to wear pants is super ridiculous. Like, right? And it's only because of the context of our culture that makes us find it ridiculous. I'm currently coming out of my gorillas phase and going back to my motionless and white phase, musical-wise right now. Nice. I don't tend to be somebody who follows particular groups of people. I listen to a lot of techno, and I can't tell you, like, the name of any of the people. Because I don't tend to be, like, that kind of fan of music. With the exception of Blue October, I'm absolutely, completely, and unwaveringly obsessed with them. I can listen to their music on repeat all day long, from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, and I could listen to the same song from them on repeat all day long and be content as fuck. And also drive my roomies absolutely nuts. Like, Mr. Hodg's theory would murder me if I just put one song on repeat for 24 hours. They would be like, stop! Yeah, I really try to think about how people back in the day treated Zeus as they do Jesus Christ today, essentially. Yeah, absolutely. Like, the people who were believers of the Greek mythology had the same air of respect and regard and awe and honor and that we do now for our current modern day religions. So we talk about, Greek mythology as if they were just stories, but the stories of Greek mythology had just as much meaning, power, symbolic cultural importance as the symbols, stories, and the mythos, if you will, of Judaism and Christianity do today. Like, they're just as important, and they have just as much cultural significance in the era and the culture that they were present in. And I think that it's really fascinating to look at the way that religion and, cultural beliefs and mores have an impact on the way that we engage with our universe. Because we don't believe in Zeus anymore, we find it ridiculous that anybody would believe in a god who throws lightning bolts. But it's because it's not what's normal. It's not in our mores anymore. It's not because it's really that different than what people have believed throughout all of human existence. I mean, if you look at some of the things that we've been willing to believe, it's just as faith-based and just as scientifically unproven. So I find it really interesting. I'm just wondering this, but doubt you might. But if you did hear about King Richard III, who died in 1845 and was found under a car park in 2012, sorry to the people that don't care or anything. Honestly, I have no idea. So there was King Richard III was found under a car park in 2012. That's cool. The things that could just be hiding under mundane everyday locations. I kind of think about that sometimes, when I'm just sitting in the park under a tree chilling, what is underneath my butt? What could I potentially be sitting under? Because we just don't know. There could be a dinosaur or a castle. You don't know what kind of really cool things could be buried there that have just been there for literally thousands of years. It's so fascinating to me, the way that history marks our world and yet how so readily it's forgotten. I really like Gorillaz. They're an animated band and have a story to their music. Well, I will have to check them out because I do really like bands and musicians that tell stories and and through their stories talk about really important topics. And that's one of the things that I really, really, really love about Blue October is that they tell stories and they talk about things that really matter. There's real depth to the lyrics in their music. It's not just I'm so sad. It really talks about why people become sad and the real genuine struggles that people, go through. And I like the depth of it. I live close to a medieval town here in UK, and I'm sure there's some lost battle locations around my areas. Yeah, that's so cool. I mean, there's gotta be so many things that are just there. It would just be so neat to stumble on it and know. Me too. I think about literal dinosaurs used to walk around where I commute to work every day. I know, right? Isn't it fascinating? I think about how water is recycled and it just keeps moving through the planet, and how you think about how animals drink it and then excrete it, and it just which on one context is kind of gross, but we're drinking dinosaur pee. It's crazy and wild, and there's these creatures that I will never interact with, and yet I'm still sharing this living, breathing planet with them. They're still a part of our planet, and they've marked it. They've changed it forever, irrevocably. I find that super bizarre and fascinating, and I just the way that things are forgotten and yet the earth remembers. It's so cool. The Gorillaz lore is strange, but it definitely sucks you in. Nice. I do like music that has actual depth and meaning rather than just it sounds cool to say it. And I definitely also want my music to not be hateful and angry, which is why I generally don't tend to listen to rap. I don't have anything against the actual music style, but the content of the music tends to be angry, hostile, and aggressive, and it's not something that I want to bring into my space. I have enough anger management issues. I don't need to invite someone else's anger and hostility into my space. So, I mean, I definitely don't want music that is just raging for the sake of raging. So I mean, there's that too. Like if you're gonna talk about stuff, you got to do it in a way that it has meaning and not just I'm gonna complain and talk about how awful you are, and I'm just gonna spew hate. I really am not interested in just the hate spewing. I feel like that happens way too much in our culture, and I definitely don't need it in my music. With history as well, I do love close to another big bit of it, as I love close to the first bridge built of iron in 1779. Nice, that's really cool. It's kind of like watching a cartoon series. Interesting. You spelled it wrong twice. That is so my life. I try to type stuff and it's like, fingers, you betray me. Alright guys, so we're at the magic time. Let's take a look and see who we can go raid. There's probably not going to be anybody else just shooting the shit and playing slime with you. But I'm sure we can find somebody who is going to be fun to hang out with. So let's go down to the wrapping up things. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. I really appreciate you all being here. I hope that you enjoyed both the interactive book and the slime as much as I did. I had a really good time with you guys tonight, so thank you for being here. It was a really nice, relaxing stream after a kind of challenging day, so I appreciate it. Special thank you to those who have donated. I really appreciate all the support. And thank you for the fan art, because I love seeing your guys' arting superpowers. You guys are so creative. And if you go down into the About page, there is stuff there for you to check out. So click on those links, check it out, and see all the things. And I'm going to have you guys go hang out with... let's do... Spike! He's playing Don't Starve together. I know that's a game that we can get down with. Well, I'm glad I have returned. I'll see you next time, Zebra. Well, I will be back streaming again tomorrow. So, yeah, you can come and hang out with us if you're available. I am glad that you're back. I'm glad to hear that you're doing well. And I am also glad that you are putting real life first, because real life definitely is more important than a stream. So, yeah. And you've updated the zebra statue. Nice! I look forward to seeing it. Alright, guys, so when we go over to hang out with Spike, we're going to throw 2 or 3 Doritos, as always, to make sure that he feels the, awesomeness through the power of snacks! And until we can hang out again, you guys be sure to take care of yourselves, alright? Bye, guys!